June 22, 1969, in a small house in London, a woman lay on the floor. Judy Garland, the woman who sang Over the Rainbow, Dorothy, the star of The Wizard of Oz. She was 47 years old. She died from a drug overdose. But the truth is, Judy Garland had started dying years earlier. MGM Studios had started killing her when she was 13 years old because Hollywood didn't see Judy as a child. They saw her as a money machine. And when they broke that machine, nobody cared. Because Judy Garland's tragedy began on day one, the day she put on those ruby slippers. Before we reveal how Hollywood destroyed the girl who sang Over the Rainbow, hit subscribe for more heartbreaking, untold stories about child stars Hollywood broke. Judy Garland, born Frances Ethel Gumm, arrived in the world in 1922 in Minnesota. She was the daughter of a vaudeville performing family. At 2 years old, she was on stage. She sang. People loved her.
But her mother Ethel didn't just see applause. She saw money. She saw fame. Ethel dragged little Frances from stage to stage. "Sing better," she said. "Smile more." Frances was just a child, but she had no right to a childhood. In 1935, MGM Studios discovered Frances. Louis B. Mayer signed her. "We'll make you a star," he said. But first he changed her name. "Frances Gumm is too ordinary. We'll make you Judy Garland." And so, Frances died. In her place, Judy Garland was born. At MGM, Judy's nightmare began. The studio thought Judy was fat. She was 13 years old with a normal body, but MGM wanted perfection, so they put Judy on a starvation diet. She was weighed every day. If she was over 100 pounds, they wouldn't let her eat. A producer told her, "You're our little hunchback." Judy was only 13 years old, and she was already starting to hate herself. Then came the pills.
MGM wanted Judy to work 18 hours, but a child can't stay awake for 18 hours. So they gave her amphetamines. They called them energy pills. Judy would take a pill in the morning, she'd stay awake, she'd dance, sing, make films. Then at night she couldn't sleep, because her body was still stimulated. So MGM gave her barbiturates, sleeping pills. At 13 years old, Judy Garland was already a drug addict. In 1939, The Wizard of Oz came. Judy played the role of Dorothy. The film was a masterpiece. Judy sang Over the Rainbow. America loved her. But during filming, terrible things were done to Judy. They made her wear binding straps around her chest. "You look too womanly," they said. "You need to look like a child." Directors yelled at her. "Move faster, sing better." The actors playing the Munchkins harassed Judy, but nobody protected her. When Judy came home from sets, she'd cry. Her mother Ethel would say, "Stop crying, keep working." Because Judy was a star now, and stars couldn't cry. The following years were worse. Judy made film after film. Babes in Arms, Strike Up the Band, Meet Me in St. Louis, all were successful, but Judy was collapsing. At 18, she was having heart palpitations. She was addicted to sleeping pills. She wasn't eating. One day, she fainted on set. MGM didn't send her to the hospital. They sent her back to the sets. "You can't rest," they said. "We need to finish the film." Judy wasn't a person. She was property. MGM's property. In 1941, Judy married musician David Rose. She became pregnant. MGM was horrified. "A pregnant star is impossible," they said. They forced Judy to have an abortion. Judy didn't want to, but she had no choice. The studio told her, "Either you have an abortion or your career ends." Judy had the abortion. And that day, something inside her broke. In 1945, Judy married director Vincent Minnelli. They had a daughter, Liza Minnelli. Judy wanted to be happy. She wanted to be a good mother, but MGM wouldn't let her. She had to keep making films. Easter Parade, In the Good Old Summertime, successes. But Judy couldn't take it anymore. Sleeping pills, painkillers, alcohol. In 1949, filming began on Annie Get Your Gun. Judy couldn't come to sets. She was too sick. MGM fired her. Unreliable, they said. Judy was only 27 years old, and MGM threw her away. The following years were chaos. Judy appeared in a few small films, but studios didn't trust her. Money was gone, marriages had fallen apart, she couldn't care for her children. In the mid-1950s, she attempted suicide. She cut her wrists. She was saved, but nobody helped. Only the press ran headlines. Judy Garland attempts suicide. In 1961, she took a small role in Judgment at Nuremberg. Her performance was magnificent. She received an Oscar nomination. For a while, it seemed Judy was coming back, but addiction wouldn't leave her. She took pills every day. She'd been taking them for 30 years. In 1963, she got her own TV show, The Judy Garland Show. It failed. It was cancelled. Judy was drowning now. She was unemployed. She had no money. She had tax debts. She performed in small nightclubs. Sometimes she'd come out drunk. She'd forget to sing. Audiences would boo. Judy would cry on stage. In the late 1960s, she moved to London. She married her fifth husband, Mickey Deans. They lived in a tiny house. Judy was just a shadow now. Nothing remained of that bright girl. On the morning of June 22, 1969, Mickey Deans found Judy dead in the bathroom. Autopsy report, barbiturate overdose. Accident or suicide? Nobody knew. Judy Garland was 47 years old. Her funeral was held in New York. 20,000 people came. They loved her, but nobody from MGM came. Louis B. Mayer was dead, but the studio made no statement. Judy died with an empty bank account. She'd earned millions of dollars. None remained. Because MGM had exploited her since childhood. Years later, her daughter Liza Minnelli spoke about what her mother endured. She described a woman who'd been robbed of childhood, dignity, health, and ultimately life itself. They didn't just use her, Liza said. They consumed her. And when there was nothing left, they discarded her like she'd never mattered. The pills MGM gave Judy at 13 created a lifelong addiction she could never escape. Every attempt at sobriety was sabotaged by the damage already done. Her body had been conditioned to need chemicals to function. Friends who saw Judy in her final years described the woman haunted by what had been stolen. She'd talk about the girl she used to be. Frances, the girl who just wanted to sing. They killed Frances, Judy said once, and they made Judy. But Judy was never real. She was just what they wanted. On good days, she'd sing for friends. That voice, even damaged by years of abuse, could still break hearts. Over the Rainbow, sung by an older, broken Judy, was almost unbearably sad, because everyone knew she'd never gotten over that rainbow. She'd been trapped beneath it, in the darkness Hollywood created. The forced abortion haunted her. She'd wanted that child, but MGM had taken even that choice from her. Years later, she'd weep about the baby she never got to have. They took everything, she told a friend. My childhood, my health, my baby. They took it all and gave me nothing but pills. But the TV show cancellation devastated her. It had been her chance to prove she could still work, still perform. When it failed, something inside her gave up. She'd arrive at nightclubs hours late. Sometimes she couldn't remember lyrics to songs she'd sung thousands of times. Sometimes she'd just talk to the audience, rambling, desperate for connection. But the audiences who came weren't always kind. Some threw things, some demanded their money back. They'd loved Dorothy, but they had no patience for broken Judy. Mickey Deans, her final husband, later admitted he'd married her partly for her name. The marriage was troubled from the start. Financial problems, arguments, Judy's health collapsing. That final night, Judy had taken pills to sleep. Too many. Whether she meant to or whether her damaged body simply gave up, nobody knows. But when Mickey found her the next morning, Judy Garland was gone. At the funeral, thousands lined the streets. They sang Over the Rainbow. They wept for Dorothy, for the girl with the ruby slippers who'd taken them to Oz. But how many of them understood what Hollywood had done to her? How many knew about the pills at 13, the forced abortion, the decades of exploitation? Judy's children stood by her casket. Liza, barely 23, had watched a mother destroyed. Now she'd have to live with that legacy. Don't let them do to you what they did to Mom, Judy had told Liza once. Don't let them own you. But in some ways, Hollywood owned them all. The children of broken stars, carrying trauma they didn't create. In the years after Judy's death, stories emerged. Other child stars came forward. Mickey Rooney, others who'd been given pills by MGM, who'd been starved, abused, exploited. The system that broke Judy had broken countless others. But Judy's story became the symbol, the cautionary tale. What happened to Judy Garland became shorthand for child star abuse, for Hollywood's cruelty, for beauty and talent destroyed by greed. New laws were passed, protections for child actors, limits on working hours, requirements for education, guards against the worst abuses. But for Judy, it was too late. Modern audiences watch The Wizard of Oz and see a classic. They see Dorothy skipping down the yellow brick road. They hear Over the Rainbow and smile. But if they knew what was happening behind the scenes, if they knew about the pills, the starvation, the abuse, would they still smile? Or would they see that film for what it really was? The moment Hollywood began destroying Judy Garland. Judy Garland sang Over the Rainbow, but she never made it over that rainbow herself, because Hollywood took her at 13 and slowly killed her. They gave her pills, they starved her, they worked her, they forced her to abort. And at 47 she died alone, in debt, broken, exhausted. MGM made millions from Judy, but Judy got nothing. Only pain, only addiction, only a broken life. Sometimes the most beautiful songs come from the most painful stories, and Judy Garland's song was born from pain. But who heard that music? The tragedy of Judy Garland isn't just that she died young, it's that she never got to live. From age 13 until her death at 47, she was Hollywood's possession, never her own person, never free. She sang about somewhere over the rainbow, a place where troubles melt like lemon drops, where skies are blue and dreams come true. But Judy never found that place, because Hollywood made sure she stayed trapped in contracts, trapped in addiction, trapped in the image of Dorothy forever. That little girl in ruby slippers became a prison Judy could never escape. And when she finally died, she was still trying to find her way home, just like Dorothy, always searching, never arriving.